it's about the end of August and we're looking at Meadowsweet. So it bloomed quite a while ago, and we have photographs of the flowers earlier. It's more like midsummer. So this is quite an important herb. It's now known as Filipendula ulmaria, but back in the day it was known as Spirea ulmaria. Then the Spirea genus was divided, and the woody ones are now Spirea, and the herbaceous ones were turned into Filipendula. But under its former guise of Spirea, it gave us the word aspirin. So salicylic acid was first synthesized from this plant in 1830s or something like that. And then aspirin was developed in, I believe, 1899. So they both do the same thing. The salicylic acid is very good for digestion. Well, it's a pain reliever, just like aspirin. And for feverish pain, so it reduces inflammation. Also good for digestion, promoting dysentery, diarrhea, that sort of thing. This is probably the most important herb for peptic ulcers, gastritis, all that sort of thing. Now, aspirin damages the stomach lining, but the Meadowsweet does what aspirin does, but it also has compounds in there that protect the stomach lining, so this is much better to use than aspirin in that regard. So aspirin is acetyl salicylic acid. Salicylic acid, as I said, was first synthesized from this, but it gets its name from salix, willow bark, which is another source for salicylic acid. So those are the two plants that have aspirin-like compounds, this one and the willow bark. This was a famous herb of the Druids, one of their main magical herbs, along with vervain and a couple of others. Has a sort of a wintergreen-like smell to it, and it's good just as wintergreen is for pain, rheumatic kinds of pain. What else could we say about it? Quite an attractive herb in flower, and even just the foliage. This foliage is somewhat reminiscent of agrimony that we looked at the other day, in having the alternate large and tiny leaflets along the stem. It's in the rose family. So Meadowsweet, sweet in plant names usually refers to aroma rather than flavor. So it has a nice smell in the summertime. Meadowsweet lets you know that it likes full sun and a kind of a moist, rich soil. That's what a meadow is. Easily grown from seed, and then when you get a big plant like this, it's quite easy to divide. You can dig this up and probably make a dozen out of it. Nice plant for just a flower border. You know, put it next to your echinacea, say, in a nice, colorful, medicinal flower garden. Let's see, I think that's it. Filipendula ulmaria, Meadowsweet.